What a beautiful near spring day we've got here. It's about 55 degrees out today. A little bit breezy, you might hear that. It's been a long, cold, bitterly cold winter. Snow, we didn't get a lot of depth of snow, but we certainly did get a lot of continuous snowstorms. And the frost went really, really deep. And that causes all kinds of problems and issues. And still waiting for the frost to go out on one of my buildings so I can get the doors open. That's just the way it is. So, my parents, Harley Davidson, it's a spring morning. So my parents used to love to travel. They'd get in the car and they would drive us all around the country. We'd go down to New York City where my dad's family was from originally, and we'd go down and visit family down there. We'd go all across the country visiting family. We had family in Ohio, we had family in South Carolina, we had family in California. We'd get all over the place, and Dad just loved it. Dad loved to drive. He loved to get in the car and just go. We've been to Disneyland a couple times and traveled all across the country, North Dakota, South Dakota, the Badlands, Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone Park. We did it all, and it was really, really an enjoyable thing for a kid to do. In those early days, we used to travel the country in Mom and Dad's Dodge 440. And it was a brand new car. It was a four-seater. It was a family car. It was kind of a mist blue. Had, I believe, a straight six or a slant six in it. All you Dodge guys would know that better than I do. And we used to take it, we took it down to the 1964 World's Fair in New York City. Again, Mom and Dad, or especially Dad, he didn't mind taking those trips. So we'd pile in the car and we'd drive the 5 or 6 hours to wherever we were going to go for the day. And like I said, Dad just really, really enjoyed it. He loved it. Dad was a World War II Marine vet in the Pacific. He had traveled the Pacific from San Diego to China and then back again. And I remember asking him one day, Dad, do you ever want to travel the world? And he said, nope. He said, I've done that. He says, the world is a messy place. And of course, this was right after the war, and Dad's memories ran pretty deep. He said, I want to see the USA. I want to see America. I want to travel our country and see all the things there are to see here. And we did just that. And every one of those trips contributed to a child's memory. Everything from the World's Fair to Disneyland and getting into these desolate back roads in North Dakota. That's what Dad liked to do. And we have the photos, we have photo albums of all of those trips, and all of those photos and those trips are the memories. They contribute to my story. They contribute to my sister's story. But here's the deal. Here's the thing to think about. When you get older, you don't build memories anymore. We're not building memories. Those memories they're deep-seated. They're in the past. Those memories of sitting in that Dodge with its blue dash lights, driving down the interstate from New Hampshire to New York City in the dark with those blue lights. We'd travel down to South Carolina, and usually Dad would go down 95, and there'd be all the kitsch on the side of the road, Burma shave, fireworks. It would be, and then we go out west, and it would be Wall Drug, and it's all buried inside of you, those memories. And getting older, they are just that. They're memories. And when you get into your older age, when you get into retirement, when you get into those golden years, you're not building memories anymore unless you have children or grandchildren and you're taking them somewhere. You're building those memories for them. But for us, as we get older, we're not creating memories. What we're creating is experiences. So sitting on the couch, watching TV or scanning the internet, that's not life. That's not having experiences. Experiences is when you get into a car and you go somewhere, you drive somewhere, you see the country, you see the sights, you see everything that every area that you go through has to offer. That's what I learned from my parents. Later on, after the Dodge 440, Dad bought a Ford F-250 pickup. And that pickup was designed to carry a camper. Mom and Dad bought a camper. And then we would travel the country all over again, only this time we'd be all huddled into this little camper. It created a closeness of family. It created those memories. I can remember being in some part of the country where it was so hot we couldn't sleep in the camper, so we slept on the picnic table outside the campsite that we were in. Those are memories. And Mom and Dad later in life would trade that pickup camper for a Class A. And again, in Dad's retirement, after Dad retired, Mom and Dad every year would jump into that camper and they would travel the country because Dad wanted to see the USA. Dad was a very patriotic man, but I guess you would expect that for somebody that experienced the Second World War. And I think until you've really traveled the USA, that you really don't realize just how big and diverse and beautiful a country we live in. So Mom and Dad, here is to you and all the memories that you created for us. Now, why am I telling you all this? Well, because my wife and I are hopping in the car and we're headed down to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And why Pigeon Forge? Well, because Pigeon Forge is a nice centrally located place where we can stay and then travel off in different directions. And while we're there, there are some things that we want to do. For instance, bucket list. What are some of the bucket list things that you'd like to do? As you get older, the time to experience those things on your bucket list gets shorter and shorter. So the need to get active and to do these things become more important and more of an imperative as you get older. So I've always wanted to do Tail of the Dragon. Tail of the Dragon is only a little over an hour away from Pigeon Forge. We're going to drive Tail of the Dragon. The Smoky Mountain Parkway, it's only a couple hours from Pigeon Forge. The Wheels Through Time Motorcycle Museum. I have wanted to see this place forever. And we drove by it here a couple years ago, and unfortunately, because of timing, we didn't get to stop. This time, we're going to stop. All right? We're going to do that. Are we going to go to Dollywood? Absolutely. That's what you do when you're in Pigeon Forge. You go to Dollywood. But not just for the rides and for the experience, because Dollywood or Pigeon Forge is known for its live music. And I love live music. I love music. If you've been following my other channel, 6 Round Studio, you know that occasionally I build guitars over there. I love music, and I love live music. I love the dynamics of sitting in the audience while somebody is performing. So all of this is going to be an experience. There are some air museums. I'm a pilot. There are air museums that I want to visit while we're down there. There's a couple car museums down there that I want to visit while we're there. Now, by the time you see this, we'll already be back. If you've been to any of these places, if you've been to Dollywood, if you've done Tail of the Dragon, leave a comment. Tell me what your experience is. The Smoky Mountain Parkway, if you've done that, give me some of your experiences. These are the things that people do when they retire. They're not building memories, you're having experiences, because the time left for having experiences is getting shorter and shorter. And one more thing. Why am I sitting in front of the Willys MB? Well, because when we get back, it's time to take this thing out of storage. So when we get back, we're going to do a bunch of first starts on all the cars that have been in storage. Not only the Jeeps, but we're going to do the Mustang, we're going to do the Pontiac, we're going to do startups on the John Deere tractor. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for first starts. Those are coming up as well. So a lot of great content coming. With the snow finally going, with the warm weather finally getting here, it's time to get rolling on getting these things out and about. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, and I hope you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we want to grow this channel to something fantastic. Guys, I love you. I am glad you're here, and I will see you in a video coming up. Bye, guys.
Daylight is calling, well,